Hi, everybody. This is Fred Bruin of the Remax Parkside Real Estate. It is Tuesday, May 19th. Today, I'd like to talk to you briefly about the economic recovery that seems to be on its way and how our little micro market has been faring through this coronavirus situation that we've all been experiencing. So let's take a look at a couple of slides I have ready. I've used this chart before, but it's been updated, and this is quite current. They've added Bank of America to the other four financial institutions in their projections for GDP, or gross domestic product, for 2020. And of course, we know that the first quarter's in, the numbers are in, and we have a negative 4.8% GDP. They call that a negative growth. I don't understand that, but there it is. And they're all projecting negative numbers for the second quarter, which we are more than halfway through now. And when these numbers do come in and we are at another negative number for GDP, we're going to officially be in a recession, as the definition of recession is 6 consecutive months of negative GDP. But on the bright side, they're also predicting a significant turnaround very quickly. And third quarter numbers should be on the positive side and through the fourth quarter. And I'm also assuming and predicting that we'll have a very good springtime next year in 2021. This is a quote from Dr. Frank Nothat. He's the chief economist for CoreLogic, and CoreLogic is a data consolidator specializing in real estate numbers. And he says, for the first 6 decades after World War II, the housing sector led the rest of the economy out of each recession. Expected to do so this time as well. And Robert Dietz, he's the chief economist for the National Association of Home Builders, says, as the economy begins a recovery later in 2020, we expect housing to play a leading role. Housing enters this recession underbuilt, not overbuilt. Based on demographics and current vacancy rates, the U.S. may have a housing deficit of up to 1 million units. We've been in an inventory shortage for several months now. Locally, this is a chart comparing 2019 and 2020 from the first of the year through today, May 19th. The blue is 2019, and we're looking at the number of homes that are reported under contract on each day. We can see we start the season as usual, slow, quiet, it's seasonal, but we quickly come out, and that's what happened in 2019. More and more homes being reported into escrow every day, and starting to level off here as we get into late spring and heading into early summer. 2020 looks a little different, starting off about the same. It had a pretty robust January into February, but then the conversation about COVID-19 was getting more airtime, and we start to see that slow down. The number of homes being reported as going into escrow on each day was declining, and declining significantly. This is about where the stay-in-place order came in, and then we continue to fall. But the market has shown some life and is turning the corner here. And about May 1st, we're starting to see some significant and consistent improvement in the numbers. So those are homes being reported going into escrow. This one is the new and back on market listings with the same concept. We've got 2019 in blue, 2020 in red, and we can see the new and back on market listings in 2019 climbed nicely and remained pretty steady, but in 2020, COVID-19 came about, and the prospective sellers were reluctant to put their homes on the market and not sure what's going on in the world today. And so the numbers were declining. But again, around May 1st, we see the mindset starting to change, and we're starting to see more and more properties coming on the market or back on the market. This is a look at all properties in escrow. Again, blue is 2019. When we started the year, there was just under 100 homes in escrow, quickly climbed and pretty steady all the way through May 19th, 2019, up to a number of about 275 on that date. 2020, we started out at about 135, climbed quickly, a little bit more brisk than 2019, but then the talk about COVID-19 was coming about, and then the stay in place order would hit, and boom, the numbers start falling off significantly. But again, on the bright side, about May 1st, we're starting to see the market turn. Buyers are starting to look again, and they're starting to make offers, and they're starting to put some properties into escrow. What's reported, this is the status change reported on a daily basis, the blue being the new and back on market. We know that it was climbing nicely in 2020 and it started to fall off, and that's coming back again. This is all 2020, from January 1st through May 19th. The red being under contract or pending, gone into escrow, was climbing nicely early in the year, fell off during the COVID awareness, and has seemed to have turned a corner, and those numbers are on the improvement again. The green line is the number of sales being reported. We're climbing, as it should be. Then the COVID came about, the numbers started falling off. And they still are declining, but that's to be anticipated because 30 to 45 days ago, we had fewer homes in escrow to actually sell here. This line should continue out about that pace and start turning the corner here about 30 or 45 days down the road. This green line reflects the number of all listings in northern San Luis Obispo County, residential listings. That's the fully available and the under contracts combined. Okay, so we got all those signs out there. Some of them are fully available, and some of them are under contract, waiting to close, or working towards close, I should say. And as we know from previous graphs, this number of homes under contract is starting to improve again. The number of available listings is improving, as we've seen by those previous graphs, but the number of fully available listings is remaining fairly flat, which tells me that the demand is right to meet the absorption. Now, so there's enough demand out there. Oops. There's enough demand out there to absorb the new listings coming on the market, and we're not gaining any numbers in the fully available market. So let's talk about absorption. The absorption rate is a term most commonly used in real estate market to evaluate the rate at which available homes are sold in a specific market during a given time period. It is calculated by dividing the average number of sales per month by the total number of available homes. 15% and below is considered a buyer's market, and I've got that 15% highlighted in this light blue. 20% and above is considered a seller's market, and that's shaded here in green. And let's see, the trend line projecting forward 1 year shows us where we're going. So I've been tracking this absorption rate number on the first of each month since January 1st, 2015. And as you can tell, we have never fallen into a buyer's market during that time. We have been in a balanced market, which is this area right here in the middle between 15 and 20% absorption rate. And then above 20%, we're in a seller's market. And even with pretty crummy April and May, or March and April, I should say, May 1st still shows us in a seller's market. Now, this number will probably come down over the next couple of reporting periods, but it certainly won't fall into the buyer's market range because we had fewer listings out there, and fewer sales, fewer listings. So just a plug, my springtime buyer and seller guides are available and have been, but coming on June 5th, we'll have the new edition, the summer editions of the 2020 buyer guide and seller guides. If you'd like a copy of those, please get a hold of me and I'll be happy to get them to you. So on my next video, I'm hoping to talk about absorption rate a little bit more, the lack of inventory, and the seller's market that we were in, and how you can take advantage of this market on both the buying and selling side. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.